How are you doing?
Oh, pretty good. You guys managing okay?
Been a tough time lately, but we're doing good. We're turning the corner. We're gonna
There
pick
you
up
go.
steam here.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Oh, Mary Ann is flying the colors. Like it. Tough timing, tough timing.
I know, my gosh. At least I didn't have to turn down, tickets to the game.
Yeah,
No, didn't have any opportunity for that.
my boss, we had season tickets through our company, and this is the first game he's going to this year.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
he pulled rank on this one.
You picked a good one.
Yeah. Okay, it is 7:31. Good evening, everyone. Might as well get started.
Good evening.
This regular meeting will be conducted via telecommunication and is compliant with the provisions of the Brown Act, Assembly Bill 361, allowing virtual meeting process for local jurisdictions under a declared state of emergency. We do a call to order and roll call.
Commissioner Fields,
Present.
Commissioner Yoshikawa,
Here.
Commissioner Brocker, Commissioner Dooley, Commissioner Malcolm. I hear you. I see you. Commissioner Naylor.
Here.
And Chairperson Kaufman.
Here. Thank you very much. I'm going to try to move quickly because we have a lot to cover. I personally have a hard stop at 9 because I'm taking care of my kids and my wife's out of town. They need to go to bed by then. But if we're having a substantive conversation and someone wants to take over at that point, I'm fine with that. But that said, if everyone can err on the side of brevity tonight, that would be much appreciated. Are there any announcements?
No, I don't believe so, no.
None received. Okay, why don't we move to approval of the regular meeting minutes from September 9th, 2021?
I move to approve the minutes for the regular CIC meeting from September 9th, 2021.
Okay,
Okay, I need to take a roll call vote. Commissioner Fields,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoshikawa,
Aye.
Commissioner Brocker, Commissioner Dooley, Commissioner Malcolm, Commissioner Naylor.
Aye.
And Chairperson Kaufman.
aye. Any communications? None received. Oral requests?
I don't think we have any this evening.
Okay. Why don't we move in then to reports from representatives, starting with Jennifer Weeks, Santa Clara County Librarian. Jennifer here?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. So Jennifer is not able to make it today, so I am representing her. And please let me know if you can see my screen.
We can see you. I don't know if you are sharing a document.
Yes, I'm trying to share a document.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
So sorry, I just had some technical issues. So, okay, starting off, thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here tonight. And since I've minimized my window, I can't see all my buttons. I want to, sorry.
No problem.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. I can't see my screen, so hence I'm having the problem. I'm sorry. So I wanted to talk about our commitments, and I have multiple screens open. So can you see my screen now? I hope this works.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here. Sorry. So this evening, I want to talk to you about our community report and let you know that we recently did a survey, and I would like to share that information with you as we move forward. So first thing, I'm going to say good evening to the city staff, to the commissioners, and all the public that is here attending this meeting. My name is Annapurna Dandu, and I'm the Library Services Manager for the County Library District. And I'm very happy to meet all of you virtually this evening. Tonight, I will be sharing with you the County Library Report, and with it, a look at our commitments and a recent survey that we did and our planning for the next year. As you may know, our fiscal year begins in July, and in the first quarter of this year, we created an opportunity and took the chance to look at what we have done in the past year and a half. And we are trying to take the opportunities and the chances we received then to use as learning measures to move forward into the next year and into the future. So we have spent some time with our team looking at the different changes that were made and the important things that are ahead of us. So now moving into our commitments, these are the important things that we have come up with. Some commitments we have made to our communities include to present programs, materials, and resources so our patrons can learn, engage, and transform. Our libraries can help patrons learn, engage, and transform the communities, and to enable lifelong learning and community engagement in our patrons. So the 5 commitments that we have created are celebrate and support reading and learning, provide inclusive, extraordinary library services, support an engaged team that is adaptable, empathetic, and always learning, embrace new technologies, and improve facilities to provide convenient and responsive library services, and be a strong community partner. And as you know, all the cogs in this, all the cogs of this diagram all interact with each other. And SECLD had conducted a survey early this year, and we had about 8,500 people respond to this, and I hope you had an opportunity to do the same. So this was primarily an online survey, but we did collect paper surveys from the bookmobile and some of our patrons at the libraries. So the key takeaways from this survey is, first off, with a lot of us online, we saw an increased use in our e-resources and e-materials. So now the question in front of the library system is, how do we adjust those collections to provide both online and e-materials in our libraries? So we've had to adjust our budgets to make sure that we had enough e-materials for our patrons. So that is something we focused on in the last year, and we increased our budgets last year and this year to accommodate that need and also create more e-collections for our other language users too. People like their online holds. And at one point during the last year, we had about 100,000 holds placed throughout the whole system. So how do we continue to make that service successful and be there for our patrons? I hope some of you used our book bundles. The most popular ones were the children's book bundles. It was an easy way to grab and go for patrons, for parents especially, that could come in, walk in, just pick up a bundle by grade or genre. And we are looking ways for continuing this service into the next year. And then how do we continue to talk to our communities? How can we increase awareness, which many of you do for us? And thank you very much for the advocacy that you do for us. Book Dash. Book Dash is a new service that the county has started in the past year, and it provided this service for the Gilroy and Los Altos libraries. We are looking to expand the service into the other communities. The Bookmobile staff are now using a Prius driven by our library team that delivers materials to those who cannot go to the library. So we will continue to expand this service to other communities. Again, how do you reach us or contact us? Chat, email, text. We are trying to be available to our patrons through all these varieties of formats. Continuing to expand our hours, I'm very happy to tell you that the libraries will be providing evening hours beginning November 1st. And we will be looking into opening hours and how to be most accessible when and where patrons need us. And how often are you going to get your newsletter? Always making those tweaks and to make sure people have the information in a timely and at times when they need it. The next thing is in-person services. Patrons have talked and they have told us in our survey that they prefer the in-person one-on-one interaction that they have in the libraries. The things they have missed, like the story times and the STEAM programs. How do we bring them back and also keep them safe for our patrons so they can access them? We know those were missed by children, and we still know this is a priority for us. How do we find new ways to access our collections? Are there other ways that we can provide lobby services? Are there different kinds of drop-off and pickup options? As well as a hybrid of different models for programming, whether you live streamed a Silicon Valley Reads author program or a distinguished author program or a story time. Did we reach you? How did you enjoy that? And what is the model going into the future? Is it going to be a hybrid program? How are children going to respond to this? So we continue to operate and modify to provide the best access going forward. And then curbside. It was a necessary service for a little bit, but our patrons have taken advantage of the service and they prefer it than coming into the library at times. So how do we provide this service? What are the times that we provide this? So this is another thing we are looking into. And that is the update of our core initiatives as we look to develop a new long-term strategic plan for the 22-23, during the 22-23 fiscal year. Now, I want to share with you that the Morgan Hill Library is receiving an honor from the Living Above the Influence group, which is a local organization there. It's recognizing how important and integral the library is in their community. And we have a teen program this year that is being provided in a response to the National Depression and Education Awareness Month. So patrons or teens can register for this program online on our website. We have 4 sessions in this program. 2 of them have already been completed. The next one is on the 16th. And finally, we just had our JPA Finance Committee meeting on the 13th. And please attend the JPA board meeting on October 28th at noon. And now I'm happy to answer any questions you have. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning. I'm trying to move between 2 computers because my screen is really small. But if you have any questions, please let me know and I will answer them.
Thank you, Ms. Dandu. Very nice presentation. Any questions for Annapurna?
I had what is JPA?
The Joint Powers Authority Board that will be meeting. It's the governing body of the
Okay.
Sonora County Library District.
Okay, great, thank you. And one more question. When you had mentioned that the demand for online holds has increased, how does that work right now?
So I'm going to ask a clarifying question first. When you say how does that work, are you talking about the borrowing or the financial part of how we allocate funds?
Just the actual borrowing, is it just go online and you like reserve it? Okay.
So there's numerous services that we provide. We provide books, audio books, videos, everything. So we have a few apps that you can get registered on. If it's the books, you can register on the Libby app. And you have access to online magazines, online audio books, regular books, ebooks that you can read.
Okay.
And if you want videos, then you can register on the Zinio. I'm sorry, not the Zinio, I'm blanking the name, but the Canopy app, which has a number of movies, documentaries, and other video materials that you can access. And then we have Freegal Music, which is an online service that you can each week download 3 pieces of music.
Okay, great, thank you.
And the only thing that you need is, this is all free, but you will need your library card number and your PIN number to do this. And we are always here to help you if you need more.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? I have a quick question. At the JPA board meeting, October 28th, well, is that open to the public? And number 2, what's the significance of that meeting?
It is open to the public. That is where they make all the decisions pertaining to some of the policies, the workings of the library district, and the finances too. So this is the meeting after the finance committee. So just putting it simply, I want to give an example. If your library makes a donation, if your friends group makes a donation to the library system, then that is where it is presented to the library. And then the JPA board accepts it, which then goes to the library system. So any decisions that we make, since it is the governing body, we let them know. And we also give them our reports as to what we are doing, how we are moving forward, and what we are planning, educating them about our business, and also taking the permission to do some other business.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments for Ms. Dandu?
And if you do not have any questions for me, thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here. And now Peggy Tomaso will explain or inform you about all the wonderful happenings that are happening at the Campbell Express Library now.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Should I start? Usually,
Yes, go ahead.
that's when to start.
Okay.
Good evening, commissioners, and welcome to the new commissioners. It's nice to see some new faces. Please, feel free to ask me any questions. Call me or email me with questions. Always happy to give you a tour of the library and explain how we work, because every library is a little different. I do have a PowerPoint I'd like to share with you, so I will do that. So do you see it?
Yes.
Perfect. It's finally working on my Mac. I only had to work 2 hours on it to get it to do it. Okay. So this is a screenshot, of course, of the new Express Library. And I just want to share with you some highlights from the library in the last few months since we opened at the Express location. Every quarter, we do a reference count in the library, and our July was our reference count month, and we had 1,287 questions. I've told you about our grab and go crafts that we have available. People just kind of come up to the desk and take one. And in June and July, we gave out 539 of those. We've started a weekly trivia contest just to have some fun for the kids, because we don't have, for the older kids, since we don't have any programs at this time, just online. And so we have a trivia contest. This week's question was, in the Harry Potter series, how are children sorted into the Hogwarts house? The questions are not supposed to be so hard they can't answer it, because then they get in the drawing for a Guinness World Book of Records books. We've had a lot of happy families enjoying those books. Our summer reading this summer was Reading Colors Your World. And we had 291 adults sign up, 40 teens, and 455 children. And then I thought I would add some other statistics for you so you can kind of see the trajectory of what's been happening. We opened in the end of May. I think it was May 21st. I probably don't have that date right. But so we don't have a whole month in May. That's why it's a lot lower for our statistics. But looking at June and July, our checkouts were higher in June, I think, because of summer reading. And then people start going on vacation and doing things in July. But our gate count was up consistently over the 2 months. We're getting more and more new library cards, and our ebook checkout is going down, which isn't surprising since now people can check out hardcover books. We've done a couple of things to try to make the library more accessible for people. A lot of times people were telling us they were having trouble finding our location. And so the city has allowed us to put up a lot of these purple flags around the library to help people locate it. We meant to buy ones that are two-sided. So if you see them now, sometimes you can't read one side of them, and we got them incorrectly. So we put them up, and we're going to replace them with signs that you can see from both sides. So we have one out by Winchester. We have one here in front of the library. We have one out by the parking lot. So I think people can find us a lot easier now, and it's really nice. The other thing that we've instituted is 2-story walks. And what these are storyboards. This is an example of one of them. This is Eric Carl's Head to Toe. And we have it in Spanish and English. And this one leads you kind of from the first entrance after you've entered from the Campbell Avenue entrance. And it goes by the pool and weaves back through and leads people to the library as they read the story. And the second one we have is I Spy Treasure Hunt. And these lead you from the field area of the community center back to the library. And one morning we just had the most fun experience. There was 2 classrooms of preschool kids who, use the community center for their school. And they waited till we opened, and they waved the doors open, and like 20 of them were going, "Thank you for the books." So they had been out reading the storybooks and enjoying finding pictures in the I Spy Treasure Hunt. So that was really nice. So yeah, that's the end of my report. Get back to, and I can answer any questions that you guys have.
Great, thank you, Peggy. Any questions?
Oh, just love that story walk thing is awesome. That's really creative.
Yeah.
We hope to change it out periodically. We haven't got the timing yet, but put new stories up.
How many panels are in that typically? Like,
there's 18
per
book. Yeah.
Great.
Picture books tend to be 32 pages long.
Excellent.
Sure, the kids love that.
Yeah.
Quick question, just to clarify, the checkouts versus the gate count, I assume checkouts are like books or materials.
It's items, yeah. So
items checked out.
Books.
Gate count is
people, bodies walking in and out the door.
Got it. Any other questions or comments for Peggy? Beautiful, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Why don't we move to reports from staff? Brian Lowenthal, City Manager.
Thank you, Chair Kaufman and Commission. It's a pleasure to be before you. Good to see you all again. I didn't prepare a formal PowerPoint like our predecessors here. Very good report from the county library. Thanks, Peggy and Amapura. I appreciate the information. With regard to the city report, though, a couple of important things that I wanted to highlight for you. First of which, we have opened City Hall back up to in-person services. I wanted to make sure the commission understands that we are fully staffed. We're trying to assist people. It's an awkward time with regard to health and safety and all the COVID protocols. So we're requesting people arrange for appointments ahead of time. We've built a robust virtual appointment system that people can meet us virtually, but understanding some people want to meet in person, we are setting up appointments to meet in person with staff, and we've equipped City Hall to have a kind of confined area to meet with the public. When people show up at City Hall that don't have appointments, they'll still be serviced just as if they show up at our front counter. So if you get questions from your constituents or colleagues in the community about our services, they're more than welcome at City Hall during normal business hours with full services. Any services that can be done outside during good weather, we will do so. If they have to be serviced inside, our staff is prepared to do that, and we're fully staffed in that area. The other significant thing that I wanted to report to the commission is the discussion of the council of continuing to utilize AB 361. At the beginning of the agenda, I know Commissioner Kaufman read all kinds of legal mumbo jumbo about how we continue to meet remotely, but it has been a windy, twisty road with state law, with governor orders, and now with a new Senate bill that replaces these governor's orders on how we can enable ourselves to operate, both in compliance with existing Brown Act laws, but with some exceptions utilizing technologies like we're using this evening. So on Tuesday next week, the City Council will be discussing some findings that they need to make for us to continue to operate in the fashion that we're operating. And we would need to consider those findings every 30 days under state law. So I know there's an item later on the agenda about the November meeting of the commission, and perhaps I'll save some of that discussion to give you some input on that when we get to that discussion. But what I did want to highlight for you and for any members of the public who may be listening to this meeting is that Tuesday our council will be discussing that issue, and that will determine our ability to continue to meet in the fashion that we're meeting, or determine whether or not we'll be back in person in November. So with that, that is my report.
Great, thanks, Brian. Any questions for Brian or comments? So I'll table my question for the discussion related to the November meeting when we get there.
I'd be glad to answer those questions when we get there.
Yeah. Why don't we move then to new business? First item is a mural location recommendation. Commissioner Fields, do you want to say a few things and
Sure.
lay a
Yeah,
foundation for people?
I think the conclusion as we started the fundraising outreach for the mural program was that it was going to be helpful to make it a little bit more concrete for people where we were thinking. And having looked at the list from Public Works and talked a little bit on our subcommittee, concluded that the sort of snack shack area at John D. Morgan Park is a nice, well-trafficked, big blank wall surface that could be great for a mural. So we think this would be helpful for us as we start sponsorship conversations. Also just a great place to have a mural. So when we met, I think we concluded it would be good to make sure we ran this by the full commission for any questions. But otherwise, we'd love to move forward with saying that that's at least the first one we're going to do, and hopefully many.
Diana, do we have an image of that location? I know it was.
Yeah, let me, I'm prepared to share my screen for the memo staff report. If that's helpful, let me share screen here.
Perfect.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the snack shack. Two different views of the snack shack here. It's at JD Morgan Park. As you can see, there's a plethora of blank walls there. So this is the area that we're discussing. It's probably the best view of the picture there.
Got it. Any questions from anyone before we take a roll call vote? Okay, Diana, why don't we do a roll call vote?
Okay, we'll need a motion though to approve the mural location in a second.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Fields,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoshikawa, Commissioner Brocker, Commissioner Dooley, Commissioner Malcolm,
Aye.
Commissioner Naylor,
Aye.
and Chairperson Kaufman.
Aye.
Thank you.
Looks like the motion was approved. Great. Thank you very much, Brian and Davis, for your work on this so far. Looks very exciting moving forward. Let's move to the second item under new business, website, public art projects, location, content, website updates, credit card payment, link, etc.
So just to recap my understanding on all of this, Diana, you sent an update earlier today. I took a quick peek, but I think owe you an email with more detailed feedback, but I like you had some images up there. We had talked to Margarita last week a little bit about I think what we would like in a vacuum is the ability to update the content on this page on a semi-regular basis and host our sponsorship forums and talk about what location we want to do the mural at. And when the murals come in, post pictures of the murals and so on and so forth. And then we'd also talked about taking credit card donations directly on that site, in addition to the, write a check and take it into City Hall. I think it'd be good to just touch base on what is possible in that, because I heard that there was a little bit of trouble with the credit card thing, and then there's a question about maybe the speed at which we can update and do more regular updates to the website. So I think interested in both of those, hearing a little bit more.
So let me, if I can, share screen with the commission here and show you what we've got prepared. And I'll talk you through this a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so here is the public arts, Explore Public Arts screen that we have developed on our website. This is a placeholder for all of the things we've talked about. And you can see here on the left side of the page, there's links for all of the different efforts that we're making right now. And in order for us to do this, we really need to be systematic with how we maintain our social media with our websites. We have several commissions, we have several different efforts going on in the city. And one of the things was explored was sort of a separate website to allow the commission directly to upload information in there. But with the way that we operate in our policies for social media, unfortunately, in that area, the city needs to retain some ability to control the site and control content that's put up there. But with that being said, the vision here is that we want to enable the commission to be able to develop a new content, provide that content to us on an as needed basis. And then this site will be updated and we can update that fairly quickly when new content's provided. And I can click through all of these, but they're simply placeholders. So the artwork and placement that you see on here, these are some posters. These are just examples. These aren't things that we're actually publishing. These are just artwork to publish on the website. not examples of projects that we're working on in particular. I know, for instance, the mural art program. Here we have some samples of some murals, but these aren't the murals that we're necessarily considering. But you can see that we've just made these pages a little bit more attractive to the users, and still to be defined. A lot of information in here, as you can see, TBD. In particular, with the mural program, one of the questions was being able to accept credit cards for donations, and we're absolutely able to do that. It would seem that it was simple at first, but we're working with IT staff to put a link on this page for this fundraising piece right here that will allow you just to click on a link and enter credit card information for donation with all the tax deductible language on there for people that are interested in making donations. So that's kind of the vision going forward. I want to recognize Diana for all of her hard work to get this page up. There's a lot that goes into creating the structure here, but now that the structure is created, simply updating with content, as I hear Commissioner Fields speak of the need to update regularly, becomes easier. We would hope that the commission works with us on developing that content. It's the content development that really takes the time. The posting of the content once it's developed is pretty simple now that this format's set up. So I'm certainly willing to take questions or provide additional information if needed.
Yeah, thank you, Diana and Brian, both for all your hard work. I know that's not easy to do. And, you're starting from scratch, and it looks great so far. And I know a lot of things are to be determined. We need to fill in some content. And as we move forward with this pilot program, essentially, I know that we'll have a lot of examples for you, hopefully one day to post, but I really appreciate you getting all this off the ground. I had two questions, one related to fundraising and one related to the process for updating the website and providing you all with content. On the fundraising piece, in terms of credit card payments, which I think was discussed at one of the subcommittee meetings, wanted to see, number one, what the time frame you think of getting that link up is, and two, if it's possible to have, or you think it's advisable to have a link on the front page, the public art page, rather than the specific project page, or have them on both, and how that could be allocated. For instance, if someone wants to just donate to public art in general within the city of Campbell, they can do that. Or if they want to donate to specific projects, I don't know if there's a mechanism to do both, or if that is just going to confuse matters, which is entirely possible. And number two, what's the process that we should utilize to give you content to update on the website?
So I believe, I don't think it would be any problem having the donation link to attach a credit card payment for donations on each of the pages. And you know, maybe there's a way to designate that if the donation was on from the Explore Public Art page, and that's just a general donation. I'm not sure. I can work with IT and see if there's a way to designate those monies to that specific project. That's certainly something that we can look into. It does make sense too. The other thing is, you know, I can publish or put any information on the Explore Public Art page pretty quickly. Just all I would need is just the content that's been approved by the commission, and then I'm happy to put it on within the day or so. So it shouldn't take very long at all. Because as Brian said, it's all already built, and I really used a lot of the information that the Explore Art Subcommittee used. So as far as the goals and the pictures, so a lot of this is what you guys already, you put all the work into it, and I just put it on the website and added a little bit of information to it, but basically this is all of what you did. So But getting back to the donations and all of that, yeah, I think that that's something that we can do.
One clarification, and thank you. This is looking great. One clarification on what you just said. You said once it's approved by the commission, because like as I look at it now, part of me is like, shoot, I want to send you an email tomorrow with like, you know, fill in the placeholders. Like, do we need to wait a month and then look at it together and then do it, or can I just like what's the process work in terms of like making text changes and photo changes to the website? Does that need a commission review, or is that something we can just sort of like align that we want to finish fleshing out these pages and like do that in the next couple weeks?
I think as long as we're in line with what's already been discussed with the commission and approved by the commission, then we're fine and we're ready to go. As far as, you know, all of the information that's on there already has already been vetted by the commission as an approved. And so that's not anything that we need to get further approval on. But for anything that's new, that's not been discussed by the commission, that's not something that we could add to the website. So
That makes
hopefully
sense.
that clarifies it some.
It does. I don't think it's new stuff. I think it is just like seeing what you have and then fleshing out, you know, the details as we've come up with them.
Okay.
And it sounds like if we do have new content, whether it's wording or images, maybe we ought to run it through a subcommittee first, depending on which project it applies to, and put that on the agenda for the commission to comment.
Yeah, I think there's some ways that you could delegate any additional authority to some of your subcommittees and have them vet that. So there's some process, long as we're following whatever processes are we established. On our end, it's really easy to update. Dinah did a great job of building that. So I want to thank her again for that.
Well, we can discuss maybe giving each subcommittee authority to provide direct input, Brian and or Diana. But I think that's probably something we have to put on the agenda item.
I think for any programs you've established and already given some authority for them to run with, as long as it's consistent with those programs, we work with those subcommittees. If anything in addition to any of that, then we'll come back to you maybe with an agenda item to do that.
Okay. Great. Any other questions or comments? Looks great, guys. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks,
Yeah.
Diana.
Why don't we move on to agenda item 3, review and approval of the sponsorship donation form.
I think that's me again. We put together and we talked about last month, we got our first donation, which we're really excited about. So I think the intent of this one was just, we've included it's in one of the appendix things in the doc, just in case folks want to see the language or anything else in there. But that was something we worked on in the subcommittee with Commissioners Yoshikawa and Kaufman. And so happy if we want to pull it up and look on it.
I'm happy to share a screen if the commission wants to see what that form looks like. You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, that would be great. And I think this form, it involved the neighborhood and city monument sign project, but we probably ought to make sure that we are consistent with every project, fairly consistent.
So unfortunately, it's a 2-page form, but this is the form. You can see the sponsorship categories here at the bottom.
I think this was different than what was in the materials, but I believe this is the right.
I think the one in the materials was just like printed as a PDF, which made it look different, but it seems like it's all the same text.
So one of the questions that I had for the commission is, do we want to add or subtract, augment this form at all? My thought, I think it's a 2-page form, is that right?
It is.
So I think that we tried to keep it fairly simple, but with enough information that it would be helpful to the city and the projects in particular to be able to identify who's giving what, and hopefully to what project and what particular aspect of each project.
I think
So,
even the form simple, especially now that we got this nice fancy website where we can talk more about the program at length, and then the form is the quick recap, and by the time they're looking at the form, they're already excited and ready to pull out their wallets. So seems good to keep it relatively short, again, since there's just so much material we're maintaining everywhere. So
yeah, one question I had for everybody was, should we have a comments section at the end? For instance, if somebody, for whatever reason, wants to donate, $1,000, but they only want to donate it for a particular neighborhood or something, or maybe just the border monument sign. Is that something that people think is a good idea or bad idea?
That last phrase, it says, if you have any questions or comments, just add that they could contact Diana, or she, instead of adding a,
I
so
agree.
We'll
we just
correct-
go to her anyway, right? Is that where
Yeah,
it goes?
it should go to Diana. We have the contact information with Margarita, but we'll correct that.
Okay.
And then I had a question on the sponsor information, the name to appear on the box. And is that in reference to what box? Is that at the gateway?
Yeah, I think that's a typo.
I don't know. Yeah.
Probably should be named to appear on the sign. I think that's in reference to like a plaque or a recognition of some sort, right?
Yeah, so maybe
It's probably the same form we use for the art box. We'll
Yeah.
fix that.
yeah, or you can just remove it and
well, it's nice to, I guess it's nice to have in that, like, the one donation we had was actually the person who donated wanted to honor someone else on the,
Memory or.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that, like, I think having both is good, but we should have it say something generic. So it,
so
Yeah.
name, we should probably correct it. So it's,
We'll
Yeah,
come up
named
with
a-
something more generic. Name on the art, name to appear on the artwork, or
Name to appear for recognition purposes.
yeah. We'll fix that.
okay.
And then Diana, same thing. I have after the Rotary, I've got a check from somebody who wants to donate. Does that check go to you? Made it out to City of Campbell?
Yeah, just go ahead and make it out to the city of Campbell, and send it to the Civic, send it to my attention, Civic Improvement Art, Public Art.
Okay, I have it. They sent it to me for whatever reason, and so
Okay.
just drop it off.
And this is for the mural?
No, this is for the neighborhood monuments.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, do you
Any
want
other
me to-
comments on this?
Yeah, the form looks good.
Okay, so with those corrections, I suppose everybody approves of everything else with those corrections.
Do we need a motion?
Are
or-
utilizing.
Yeah, we'll need a motion and
I'm-
a second.
Okay, in a second. Oh, and a second.
I second.
I move to approve the sponsorship form with the said changes.
second.
Was that Commissioner Fields that
Yes, it
approved
was.
it? Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Let me do a roll call vote. Commissioner Fields,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoshikawa,
Aye.
Commissioner Brocker, Commissioner Dooley, Commissioner Malcolm,
Aye.
Commissioner Naylor,
Aye.
and Chair Kaufman.
Aye.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Let's move on to Oktoberfest Table.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and report on that. So the city clerk's office, I know that the Civic Improvement Commission had some interest in participating in a table out there to provide information about the Explore Art projects and other information that the public might have regarding CIC. So the city clerk will set up a pop-up tent and table and chairs. They'll be out there from 9:30 to 6 p.m. They do need someone out there, some volunteers, possibly from the CIC, if you're interested, to be out there from 12 to 4. Because, you know, they just if they can get out there. So basically the city clerk will be providing information on redistricting. I don't know if, and the location of the table will be at the Darling Fisher mortuary there on Campbell Avenue. Does the CIC have any material or anything that they want to provide for the Oktoberfest? If so, if you can get it to me tomorrow, I can go ahead and make copies and have it available. You know,
Yeah,
we can maybe have the donation forms, you know, for the Explorer. Maybe we might think about doing that. Maybe we can get some donations out there.
Yeah, I was thinking if we can modify the sponsorship forms. And also we talked about doing a flyer, which I think we already had an iteration of public art in general. I will look, I know Carrie Perkins indicated she can make copies, but if you have the bandwidth, Diana, that'd be great. And I'm happy to volunteer.
What type of a flyer? What type of a flyer was it for the Explore Art?
It was for Explore Art.
Okay, was there something already made, did you say, or?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me look and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'm happy to do whatever you guys need me to do as far as making the form or making copies or whatever. Just let me know.
Okay.
I can send you the mural. You might have that one, but I can resend you the mural specific sponsorship form.
Okay.
I'll do that right now.
Okay, that sounds good.
Perfect. Any other comments, questions, volunteers?
I love that you
Participants
volunteered. I think that's great.
in this Oktoberfest, you know?
It'll be a fun one.
I was just gonna say, maybe we should put the website link on there too.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. It's got the nice Explore Public Art right in the URL, so let's do it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and try to, and once you give me the information, I can put the flyer together and I'll send it to you guys to take a look at it before I print it.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks.
And question, I mean, this might be a long shot. Is it possible to have somebody there to take donations on the spot, whether it's credit card or check? I assume that somebody could write a check and then we could have the form filled out and what have you. I don't know if there's a credit card.
I don't know that we have a mobile credit card reader at this point.
Okay.
We can check, but I don't think we have one available that I'm aware of. But we can certainly take checks.
I think this is where the website's going to be great once we get that going too, just to people already on their computers ready to go.
Exactly.
Right.
And are they going to be out there both days or just Saturday?
The city clerk's office will be out there Saturday, and I believe community development will be there Sunday. So if you guys want to include Sunday in that, just let me know and I'll relay that information.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm out of town. this weekend, so otherwise I'd be enjoying a beer.
I can only do Saturday. And that's, I'm sorry, 12 to 4 is the.
Yeah.
time
Mhm.
frame? Okay. Yeah, that works.
So Diana, I'll try and get in, I mean, I know you're gonna be busy tomorrow, considering all the stuff that needs to be done before Saturday. So I'll try and get as much detail to you as well on, filling in all the TBDs and stuff on the
Okay.
various pages. So since we're gonna add that to the flyer, the URL to the flyer, we want to try and have that as complete as possible, or at least with the details.
Okay.
Do you want to do it in like a Google Doc so we can all do it together, or?
You mean the flyer?
I mean specifically, like I could probably also look at it tomorrow and just refer. It might be better in a Google Doc instead of us emailing around like Word
Yeah.
docs.
Davis, do you want to just copy are you talking about the web content, or are you talking about the
Yeah,
flyer?
the web content for the web
Yeah,
content.
so we could just put the web content in a Google sheet, or not a Google sheet, a Google Doc.
I could make one right now and send it to the three of us so we.
Okay. And then we can just all edit on the fly.
Yeah.
With version control. And Diana, does that work for you? Or if not, I could email them to you at the end of the day or something, or what? Well, no, then you'll need time to publish it and make the changes.
Right. I also want to caution you to be cautious about violating the Brown Act. I'm not sure Brian can help me with this, but I'm not sure all three of you can have discussions about that.
Well, it's our subcommittee.
Okay, Brian, I don't,
Yeah, but it's a subcommittee discussion that's not agendized. So we want to be careful about a majority of your subcommittee without an agendized item unless authority and directions already been given on that. Probably editing the website's not something that's going to violate the Brown Act, but
I think we've already been given the direction.
Yeah, probably okay with that.
Yeah.
So Marianne and Davis, and who else is on that committee?
Bill.
And Bill. Yeah, we're probably okay. We're probably we keep it to the content on that page, and we're not developing anything new other than what was discussed previously. We're probably okay.
Okay, we will keep it just to the content. So we'll try and get that to you as soon as possible, Diana.
yeah, it's just the TBDs.
In the morning.
Okay, I appreciate it. You're just talking about the content that was already on our website, the TBDs and all of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else related to Oktoberfest? Why don't we move to November CIC meeting?
Mm-hmm.
So just briefly, obviously Veterans Day is observed on the normal meeting date of this commission. So one of the discussions is whether the commission wanted to change that meeting date. And as I mentioned during the city report earlier, the format of the meeting's going to be determined really by council action next Tuesday evening. As you know, we've been meeting remotely. And it's a complex process, but we've been meeting remotely under a governor's order that essentially suspended the Brown Act, which requires us to notice your meeting locations and requires a quorum of the body to be present in council chambers for every meeting. So we're still providing notice to the public. We're still allowing the public to comment, but what we're not doing is we're not advertising the addresses of the locations that you're all participating in. Like this evening, and as I said, we don't have a quorum of the legislative body in the council chamber. So we really have two options with the council next week with regard to format. There's a new Senate bill, Senate Bill 361, that governor signed into law at the end of September that is going to replace the governor's order This Senate bill essentially allows the city to control its own fate with regard to compliance with the Brown Act in emergency situations. Instead, the city relying on the governor to take action. If the city council takes action and makes specific findings regarding to health and safety of the attendees, or the county does, we can rely upon that, and every 30 days make similar findings to perpetuate these ongoing remote meetings of the commission and of our council. Certainly, you know, there's pros and cons both ways. We have members on our council that really would like for us to get back to normal in a normal situation, but yet there's a sincere recognition for those that are immune compromised, that have people perhaps at home that are immune compromised. Certainly our county is still recommending social distancing and remote meetings for the near future. So on Tuesday, our council is going to consider that, and depending on the direction that they go, we will either continue to meet remotely, and every 30 days we'll have to renew those findings, or if they determine to begin to meet in person again in November, that meeting would have to comply with the Brown Act. Now, that's not to say that some of you still have valid health concerns or concerns with being near others in a public space. Certainly, we're taking efforts. Tuesday's council meeting will be with the council live in the council chambers and available to the public in the chambers. And it's kind of a test run of how we're doing with the measures that we're taking. But in recognition of all of that, even if the council determines to come back in person, I think we would still recognize and accommodate those that did not want to meet in person, and as long as we complied with the Brown Act. So really don't know the direction it's going to go, but one result could be that we would have to have a majority of this commission present in the council chambers for the November meeting. And then the others that were participating remotely, that chose to participate remotely, we would have to notice the locations in which you're participating. And if a member of the public showed up to your location, you would have to allow them in. If it's your personal residence, you would have to allow them into your personal residence or the location that we've noticed. So it's certainly not as convenient as we've been operating, but I just wanted to give you that heads up. And it's certainly been a windy road. And if I could forecast the direction it's going to go, I would tell you. But yet, looking at my colleagues in neighboring cities and what I'm hearing for other city managers, it's really a mixed bag, probably 50-50 with every city in the county. Probably 50% of them are beginning to meet in person again. The others are going to continue to meet remotely as long as they're permitted to do so. So I just wanted to provide you that guidance as you discuss your meeting date so that you can keep that in the back of your mind. And certainly after Tuesday, you're more than welcome to tune into the meeting Tuesday, but after Tuesday, Diana and I will let the commission know the direction that we have to go with our November meeting.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Brian. So it sounds like either you or Diana will let us know via email which way the council voted.
Yeah, we'll follow up on the formatting. But the couple things that I just wanted to reiterate is that no matter which direction we go, if there's those that need to be accommodated, we will do everything we can to try to accommodate those within the limits of the Brown Act, if we don't continue to permit the remote meetings. In any case, we do continue to offer the Zoom meetings for the public, and we'll still be offering this format even if we are so-called meeting in person. So what we're asking for the commission today is to consider your meeting date, and then we'll follow up with you with the format once we know it Tuesday.
Right.
So is the first, there's kind of, it sounds like there's two, am I understanding correctly? There's two issues. One is that our next meeting is scheduled for November 11th, which is a federal holiday. And two, well, just kind of a heads up that our format could change, but TBD with the city council meeting next Tuesday.
Correct.
Okay.
And so what we're really asking for you tonight is to determine if you want to continue with your regular meeting date on Veterans Day, or if you would like to discuss changing that date.
I would like to discuss changing the date.
I as well.
I agree.
Are there any dates in November other than Thanksgiving that do not work for folks?
I'll be out of town from the 20th through the 29th.
Okay,
Oh, wait, no, wait, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong month. I'm sorry, apologies. 19th through the 28th. So,
That's Thanksgiving.
yeah, just before the week of Thanksgiving and the whole week of Thanksgiving. But I could do it, earlier that the week of the 8th or the first part of the week of the 15th.
we don't have to do the meeting on a Thursday.
What's that?
We don't have to do the meeting on a Thursday.
On a Thursday?
We're not required to.
We're not required to.
Correct. Correct. Like I could do it the 10th or the 17th.
10th is good.
Look at my calendar. Make sure.
I second the 10th.
Yeah, 10th works for me as well.
Okay, Brian, can you check? I want to be sure if we do go live, I want to make sure that we are not conflicting with another commission or board meeting that might happen.
Yeah.
In the chambers.
Mhm. So we're looking at November the 10th, which would be the second Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
Correct. And it would be 7:30, I assume.
Special meeting.
Wednesday the 10th, is that PRC?
That's PRC.
That may be conflicting with, I have to confirm. I'm looking right now. I apologize.
That's okay.
Give me just a moment here. November 10th looks fine.
Okay.
Need a motion?
Motion to move the meeting to November 10th.
Second.
Okay, I'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner Fields,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoshikawa,
Hi.
Commissioner Brocker, Commissioner Dooley, Commissioner Malcolm,
Aye.
Commissioner Naylor,
Aye.
and Chairperson Kaufman.
Aye.
So this will be considered a special meeting, right?
Yes.
And 7:30 start?
Correct.
Yep.
Because also if another time works better for everyone, then we can do that as well. If for the other commissioners, if another time's better.
I would still do this whole series more like 7 instead of 7:30, but also respecting Commissioner Kaufman's, let's be brief, we can fight that battle another month.
Okay.
I'm fine with 7 o'clock, but why don't we keep it 7:30 for now?
Maybe we can add it to a future agenda.
Yeah, that's fine.
Not next month, right? You just want to add it to a future agenda. Okay.
Okay, anything else regarding November SIC meeting?
Mhm.
Okay, why don't we move to good of the game? Anybody have anything to add, to share? Other than Oktoberfest, volunteer, show up, drink, behave. None of the above, all the above. Why don't we move to subcommittee reports? Campbell Pierce.
Let's see.
Who's on that?
I think these subcommittees don't, one thing I wanted to bring up is like, we sort of reconfigured, and
Yeah,
I think we didn't like totally click over to that yet, because we're
Yeah.
doing, like murals and, so maybe can we look at,
so Campbell Cares is Commissioner Dooley, Commissioner Malcolm, and Commissioner Brocker, right? So,
There was no report last time. I assume there's no report this time. Is that right?
okay. So,
Okay, capture Campbell.
I have, we have not met yet, but the plan is to kind of modify the timeline to spring. So we'll be meeting in the next, probably 4 to 6 weeks. Set up a meeting with, who is on that? Let me see.
Looks like you're going to set up a subcommittee meeting.
Yeah, we'll set up a subcommittee meeting with our new member, actually new members, Commissioner Fields and Commissioner Naylor. I'll send something out and get availability.
I think I've technically been on the committee with you for a year, but we've never met, so.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we canceled it with COVID, so.
Yes, yeah. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Commissioner Yoshikawa. Why don't we move to Neighborhood Association Assistance Grant?
Same. We have, I think I know who's on that. It's also
Gonna
myself.
work on the next funding cycle, I think.
Yeah, so, and that's Chair Kaufman, you're on that with me, and Commissioner Dooley, so we'll get that scheduled.
Yeah, we're going to
As
set
well
a
as-
subcommittee meeting to discuss the next funding cycle.
Yeah, we need to kind of get that, start to send that information out, disseminate and prepare Diana.
Commissioner Yoshikawa, at the last meeting, you had asked who had submitted receipts for the last fundings or this recent funding cycle. I've received receipts from Stack, Town 38. I'm waiting for Downtown Campbell Neighborhood Association. I'm waiting for receipts from them.
And none from none from DCNA yet.
The last time they submitted receipts, it was for 18-19
Okay.
or 19-20 also, but nothing for 2021.
Okay, I'll ping Barry Shellman on that just to as a reminder.
So I sent the request. Is there a Mark Edelman? He was the contact person, I believe. Let me make sure. He was the one that I sent the request to.
Okay.
Because he had submitted the application. Now I can go ahead and send it to Barry if you'd like me to. I do have his contact information.
I'll just ping him. I'll just send him a quick text message.
Okay.
And then he can, and then if he wants me to send him, if he says, oh, can you forward me the email, then I'll get in touch with you and ask you to forward.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
And I think Explore Our Project pretty much covered everything. Unless somebody has something to add.
I just wanted to mention the Solidarity Art Panels with the museum. We are targeting for November, but without Carrie and Commissioner Brocker, who was going to help with some of the construction material. I don't know the exact date, so we'll find that out. But it is targeted for kind of, I think, second week in November, maybe.
Let
So
us
that's gonna
know
be-
how we can help.
Yeah. Sounds good. Probably you'll probably see a meeting notice come your way, and just as a heads up for the subcommittee, the Explore Art. But we will get some details in, and then we might have a volunteer day to help hang them and get them up.
If I can just remind the commission that on those panels that we still owe an obligation to the council to touch base with them once we've selected those panels that we want to produce
Yeah,
and get some feedback on that. So just as long as we keep that in mind in our process.
sure. Do we need to, does that need to be an agenda item for council?
No, I think that at least if you provide staff with the panels that you're looking at, we can get some feedback
Just
from them. Hopefully
like
the informal
just the
feedback is
photos.
sufficient.
Just the photos, right? That they can
Yeah.
give comment. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know on the affixing to the building. So that will determine how many we can actually get up. So we will be sure to do that.
Okay, just plan for that time period and a reasonable time period for council to respond.
Okay. Will do.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
And Mary Ann, I was wondering, on locations as well, has that been solidified, or is that something?
It depends on the ability to affix and how it's being affixed to the building. So, the fence is fine, the, exterior, but to the building is the question that she was working with someone in Public Works or something, I think. So I just don't have that answer for you today.
Well, fingers crossed, they're going up soon.
Yep. I mean, the other thing is that her husband had volunteered for the labor and he wasn't available until he was committed to something for 6 weeks. So he couldn't do it till November. So we'll have our
The two other Explore Art things are like, one, we did a one-off subcommittee meeting on the murals. And I think we concluded we were going to try and do more of the future meetings in this commission, just so we're all here we want to do votes on anything, or like it just eliminates a cycle. I think we had some times where we'd like meet and decide something and then need to wait and vote on it. The commission we think we could just combine those a little bit better. The other thing we talked about in the mural subcommittee meeting was that the city of Campbell has still a surplus out of the American Rescue Plan funding. And we talked a little bit about putting our hat in the ring about asking whether we could get some of that for the mural program, and whether an outreach to the city councilors was something we should do with that in mind. At least initial outreach on fundraising to businesses was somewhat disappointing in the lack of responses. So it seems like that might be kind of a slow road. So I was considering sending an email or two to some of the counselors that I know, just saying, this is what we're doing. I'm starting to think about this location, and just wanted to ask basically about the potential for doing this. So that was the only other thing I thought I'd flag here in this forum.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to get some of their at least informal feedback. Certainly not building a quorum of the council on that, but
Yeah.
Getting some feedback on that to just manage expectations if we move forward.
Yeah.
So on location, whether it be a mural or monument sign or something else, is that something that obviously we have to collaborate with city council before we probably make a recommendation to them or submit something to them? We need to keep them reasonably informed, I would say, but we can still get feedback from individuals, businesses, organizations as to desires for a specific location. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, just so I don't do something that is different than people's expectations, I think we have a location, and I think we know roughly how much these murals cost. And I was gonna send an email to the city council individual members that I've like met and talked to before saying, hey, there's a surplus, heard there's a question of where this funding. What about, 10K to do a mural here? Like, that's what I was going to do unless someone tells me that is violating some thing we should be doing other than that.
Yeah, the only thing I advise you of just not developing a quorum by sequentially meeting with each of them on a future action to designate money, but certainly you can reach out to a minority of the
But
council.
like 2 is fine, not more than 2. Okay, got it.
That's probably fine.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate the advice.
So Margarita, before she left, she put together a flow chart. I don't know if any of you had the opportunity to look at that yet, but it's a guideline of what the process would look like to get this completed. So have you guys seen this at all? The flow chart?
I have.
I have the flow chart.
Okay, so that should give you an idea of what the process would look like to get it completed. I think it's very helpful.
It is very helpful.
Okay. Anything else on Explore Art?
Not for this
Right.
meeting.
Diana, Brian, I know Margarita is a loss, and thank you for stepping in and doing all the work done and all the great advice at the end of the meeting. Really appreciate it. And very excited to keep moving with these projects. I know that everybody's putting a lot of work in. But thank you for taking the baton from her, so to speak, and let us know if there's something we can do to help.
Well, those are certainly big shoes to fill, and we'll do our best to try to follow her, and everything that she did. But we're happy to help you in any way that we can.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. It's nice to have you here, Brian.
Yes.
It's nice to be needed.
You guys aren't busy enough, right? That's
No, we always appreciate making a difference and helping, so we're glad to do it.
And are you guys, is City Hall closed? You guys will all be off of work on the 11th, right?
No.
Oh, you don't have it off?
Mm-mm. No.
that was emphatic, Diana.
Okay.
I'll be working too, so.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, everybody. Go Giants. I appreciate everyone
1-1.
moving quickly. My kids will not be a nightmare tomorrow, hopefully.
Go Giants. Okay,
Thanks,
thank you,
everyone. I'll
everyone.
adjourn the meeting.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.